Okay, we'll start now.
Okay.
Sorry about the delay.
Let them come here. You can keep it here.
Yeah.
Now everybody on board?
Swamiji, only half. We are still waiting on a few.
Okay, then
Let's start with you for yourself.
Yes.
bring them in.
Yeah, 75 were there. They are coming, Swamiji, slowly.
Swamiji, 46 are here.
75 were there. They are coming, Swamiji. You can start.
Oh.
Hello? Hurry up.
Please mute if you are not. Swamiji lecture started.
No, we switched. You go to the meeting and then I sent the link.
Mute this if you need.
I sent the Zoom
mute.
link.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marutatulyam Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukhyam Sriramadutam Sirasa Namami Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagyavriddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha-jnani-kamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Satchitananda-rupaya Vishwotpattyadi-hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namah Nilam Bhujasyamalako-malangam Sita Samaropita Pamabhagam Arnau Mahasayaka Charuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham. We are very happy to start today the most famous chant, that is Vishnu Sahasranam. Lalita Sahasram also equally famous. This origin of this Sahasranam is to be known.
Google link was madam దీంట్లో నా ఫోన్ లో నుంచి కాపీ చేసి
After Mahabharata war, Yudhishthira became the king.
Swamiji, you're on mute. You're on mute, Swamiji.
Okay, sorry. So whatever I said, you didn't hear now.
We heard Swamiji.
Now you can hear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't notice that. So, the Vishnu Sahasranama is the most popular chant hymns on Bhagavan Vishnu. And Lalita Sahasranamam also equally famous. The origin of this Vishnu Sahasranamam is very interesting. That is, after the Mahabharata war, Yudhishthira became the king, and after having coronated as a king, he sat on the throne. Then after some time, he was feeling miserable. He had horrible dreams and he was totally disturbed. And he started thinking that I am enjoying this throne and all the royal pleasures at the cost of so many people's life. I am instrumental in killing all these people. And as a result, I am enjoying the pleasures of the kingdom. It is all, every morsel of food that I take is blood-stained. Like this, he was feeling miserable. He spends sleepless night. And finally, he went and told his condition to Lord Krishna, who was still staying there. And Bhagavan Krishna thought that, now I had to repeat Bhagavad Gita. The same situation was there before starting the war for Arjuna. Now he was thinking, now I don't have the energy to repeat Bhagavad Gita to him. So he thought of Bhishma Pitamaha, who is still lying down in the battlefield. So he said, I am not the right person to answer this question, give you solution to the problem. I will take you to someone, he will give you the teaching, proper teaching. So, Bhagavan took all Pandavas along with Panchali and they went to Kurukshetra. And he gave, this detailed description is there in Mahabharata. So, Bhishma Pitamaha, when he was lying down on the bed of arrows and his head was hanging down, so he looked at Krishna, now what is that I can do for you? I have been waiting for you. Bhishma Pitamaha, in fact, was the greatest devotee of Krishna. And in Bhagavatam, there is a Bhishma Stuti. That Bhishma Stuti is very beautiful. That is where you see the beauty, the devotion of Bhishma to Bhagavan. And Bhishma Pitamaha said, I cannot see you properly, my head is dropping down. Arjuna, do something. Arjuna immediately shot 3 arrows, lifted his head and put it on that like a pillow. And then he said, I am thirsty. The king ordered to bring some milk, etc. But Bhishma Pitamaha said, I don't want that. Arjuna shot an arrow and Ganga Jal came like a spring. And he drank that, he became satisfied. And it is said that Bhagavan looked at him all over his body. All the pain that he was going through completely vanished. He was peaceful at heart and peaceful at physically also. Then Bhagavan requested Bhishma Pitamaha to teach Dharmaraj, Dharmaraj, that is the eldest brother of Pandavas, Yudhishthira. And Bhishma Pitamaha taught, because Bhishma Pitamaha was a student of Brihaspati, and he had the privilege of learning from none other than the Guru of Devas, Brihaspati. So therefore he was completely well informed about Dharma, Dharma Shastra. So he taught Yudhishthira all Dharma Shastra, that is Dharma of a human being, Devatas, Raja, Praja, and all of them in detail. It is there in Mahabharata. Now afterwards, it is said that the Dhritarashtra was not very happy after listening to it also. And while listening to the Dharma Shastra, Bhishma Pitamaha was teaching Dharma Shastra to Yudhishthira. And while listening, Draupadi was also there. And Draupadi was smiling little bit. And Bhishma Pitamaha noticed. And he asked, Draupadi, why are you smiling? And Draupadi said, nothing. I say just like that. No. A person like you, if you are smiling, there must be some reason. And then she said, if you are asking me, then I will tell you. You are teaching Yudhishthira all these law, Dharma Shastras. And what happened to this Dharma Shastra when I was unrobed in front of everybody there in Rajya Sabha? What happened then? You are also present. You did not object. So, listening to it, Bhishma Pitamaha said, you are right. He did not justify it. He said, I am eating the salt of Duryodhana. I am eating the food of Duryodhana. Therefore, that has influenced my thoughts. Anna Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddhi. Chandogya Upanishad talk about Anna Shuddhi. The food should be pure. Impure food with bad intention, evil thoughts, if you eat, your mind also get poisoned. So that is the Shastra. So in Chandogya Upanishad it is said, the food that we eat, there are three parts. The gross will go for taste and fecal matter, and the middle portion will go for making up of our blood, marrow, etc., muscles. All the vitamin content will go to the health of the body. And there is a subtle aspect of the food is there that goes into the makeup of our mind. And that is determined by the emotion in which the food is prepared. That is why catered food, etc., is not healthy, they say, because we don't know with what mood they cook. Hotel food, restaurant food, we have no idea whether they have taken bath or they have done worshipped any god or their mind is clean. So all of them will enter into the food that is eaten and it influences the mind. So this Bhishma Pitamaha admitted, and afterwards he continued teaching Yudhishthira. And at the end of the teaching, he requested Bhagavan to stand in front of him with all Shanga Chakra Gadadhari, Pidambaradhari, and stand, not only like that stand, but smile with a smiling face. You should stand in front of me. And looking that Bhagavan standing in front of him, smiling, Bhishma Pitamaha chanted these 1,000 names of Lord. And then he departed from the world. He was waiting for the auspicious moment, Uttarayanam, and he departed from the world. Just what a death, please. Looking at Bhagavan, he was able to leave the body. Swantakaalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. At the time of death, one remembers me and leave the body, he will come to me, Bhagavan said in Gita. But here Bhishma Pitamaha was so lucky that he was able to see Bhagavan and then leave him and chant his name and leave him. He was a Jivan Mukta Purusha. Videha Mukti, after death also, he attained Mukti. Then in this 1,000 names, why 1,000 names, people ask. Actually, Bhagavan has got more than 1,000 names. And it is said in what do you call, the Shiva Mahimana Stotram, it is said that if Sharada Devi, using ocean as ink and earth as paper and the Kalpataruksha's branch as pen, if she start writing the glory of the Lord day and night throughout her life, it will not end, she says. Ishaparam namami. So that is, 1,000 name is only a representation. It is not complete, but we have to start somewhere. Now somebody asked me why Bhagavan likes somebody to praise him. All these names are in praise of Lord. Why should Lord like someone praises him? And then the answer is very beautiful. This comes in Bhagavatam also. And Shuka Maharshi also answers that, saying that, he said, Bhagavan doesn't need any of our praises. He is Purnaha. But these praises are for us. It is something like, an example was given, it is something like a child, a little child. He doesn't want to take bath, but mother wants to give a bath to the child and put nice new clothes and decorate him and dresses up him with ornaments and dress and what you call makeup and all that powdered. Why? Because you want to see the child, your child, beautiful child, and admire him and enjoy that child. The same way in the temple also, why do we decorate Bhagavan? It is not for Bhagavan wants it, please. It is for our sake. It is for our joy we are doing it. So, these 1,000 names or 1,000 names are only representation. So, this 1,000 names came, the origin is now Bhishma Pitamaha. And the commentary that we are going to use, I am going to use, you may have Swamiji's book, Gurudev's book is there. I am going to use Shankaracharya's Bhashya. Shankaracharya, after sannyas, he took sannyas on himself and then sought his guru, Govinda Bhagavat Pada in Narmada Nadi Tiram. Near Narmada Nadi Tiram, there was an ashram of Govinda Bhagavat Pada, and he sought that guru. And afterwards, as soon as he reached there, he prostrated. He said, I have taken sannyas myself, and you have to ratify it. Shankaracharya, looking at that 8-year-old boy, Guru was pleased. He said, come tomorrow, I will give you sannyas. And he went and took sannyas from his Guru. And the next day morning, Shankaracharya went and asked permission from his Guru to write commentaries on Upanishads. When the Guru is looking at him, an 8-year-old boy, but he doesn't want to question his knowledge, discourage him. So he said, before writing the commentary for Upanishad, please write commentary on Vishnu Sahasranama. There is another Aitihyam also. Shankaracharya started writing commentary on Upanishads. Every day he wrote, it was vanishing. It was disappearing. So finally he got Upadesh from his Guru that you write Vishnu Sahasranama commentary first. Shankaracharya wrote this commentary in 3 days and gave it to Guru, and he was surprised. You finished? Yes. And Shankaracharya's Guru read that commentary 7 days. It took for him 7 days to complete reading. Because it was so interesting that it also showed the depth of knowledge of Shankaracharya. And in Vishnu Sahasranama, many names are repeated. Some of them 11 times, some of them 3 times, some of them 9 times, 7 times, like this. Same names are repeated. But every time, Bhagavan gave different meaning. It is not the same meaning. Different meaning he gave. And not only that, he has quoted from Shastras, Puranas, Idihasas, Dharma Shastras, and Upanishads also, to prove that particular name is valid, or the meaning of the name is valid. He quotes Shastras. So, that was the depth of Bhagavan Shankaracharya's knowledge. So this is the commentary that I will be following. And there is one more famous commentary, that is Bhattar. So Bhattar is very bhakti bhav. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya being a Vedantin, you can see this Vedantic style of commentary. With that introduction, we will start our... so the Shankaracharya took the test from Mahabharatam directly. So you will not see so many things like Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shajivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Then Yasya Dviradavaktaradhya Parishadhya Parashadam Vignam Niknan Nisatadam Vishaksenam Damashraye. These are all these slokas we will not find in Mahabharata. So these are all added later for chanting sake. So it starts with Yasya Smarana Matrena Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchyate Namastasmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. Yasya Smarana Matrena, that Lord whose name merely remembering, whom Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchyate. A person is liberated from the bondage of birth and death. Bondage and birth and the life in this samsara. Janma samsara bandhanat. Janma is birth. Samsara bandhanam means bondage of samsara. Samsara means sra sarati iti samsara. That which continuously moving. So the flux of change, that is called samsara. Change is not a problem, but our non-acceptance of change is a problem. We are not able to accept the changes. Now look at this. This COVID-19 is a drastic change. Isn't it? We are not able to, it took some time for us to accept the lifestyle. Lifestyle have totally changed. Now there is something good about COVID also we have to see. The family values have been changed. See, you are forced to live together now. You cannot separate yourself. You have only one house. In that, all the family members are together living for what? 24 hours, 365 days. So naturally, all the values that we learned from our childhood, joint family system, is all come back now. So we learn to sacrifice, we learn to accommodate, we learn to accept somebody's weaknesses, somebody's misbehavior. All of them we learn to accept because there is no choice. So this, that is called samsara. So samsara sagarat. Janma samsara bandhanat. So that is become a bondage. Vimuchyate namastasmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. And salutation to that Lord Vishnu Bhagavan, the one who free you from this bandhanam. Bandhanat vimuchyate. The one who free you from that bandhanam. Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. Vishnu, Vishnodi Apnodi Sarvam, Vishnu, the one who pervades the entire universe, is Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, salutation to that, Lord Vishnu Bhagavan, Prabha Vishnu, Prabhavavan, or from whom the whole world has come. From whom, Prabha Vishnu means from whom the whole world has emerged. Or Prabhavavan also, glorious person. So yasya smaranamatreena janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate namastasmai Vishnave Prabhavishnave Namas samasta bhutanam adibhutaya bhuprate Aneka Rupa Rupaya Vishnave Prabhavishnave. The one who is the primordial cause. Namaha samasta bhutanam adibhutaya bhuprate. Samasta bhutanam adibhutaya. So primordial cause of everything, but himself uncaused. He is the cause of everything, but he is uncaused. Bhuprade, sustainer of earth. Bhu is Upalakshanam, means the whole world. Bhu represents the whole world. Aneka Rupaya, infinite are his forms, varieties of forms. In fact, all forms are his forms. In fact, he himself is all forms. It is something like gold and ornaments. All ornaments are nothing but gold. So gold can claim, I am all the ornaments. Same way, Bhagavan also is a material cause. Naturally, he can claim that he is everything. Vishnave, Prabha Vishnave. Then, afterwards, Shankaracharya take up Sri Vaishambhayana Uvacha. Shrutva dharman aseshena pavanani cha sarvashaha yudhishthirashantanavam punarevapya bhashata. Now Vaishambhayana, in Mahabharata, the Vaishambhayana Rishi, who is the disciple of Vyasa Bhagavan, he is the one narrating Mahabharata story to Janamejaya. Janamejaya was the son of Parikshit, and Parikshit and Janamejaya was performing Sarpayatnya. So, when Parikshit was cursed by Rishimuni and Muniputra, Samika Rishi's son, when he cursed him that you will die in 7 days with Takshaka's bite, and he handed over the kingdom to Janamejaya and retired to the banks of Gangaji. And there all the rishis came. And finally came Shuka Maharshi and taught him Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and attained Mukti. Now the last day when Takshaka was coming to bite Parikshit, there was a Brahmana was also coming along with him. So he asked, where are you going? He said, I am going to see Parikshit. Why? Because I heard Takshaka is coming to kill him. So I can revive him. I can remove any poison and revive the Raja. Then can you really do it? Yes, I can do it. So Takshaka bit one, the banyan tree. The banyan tree completely burned to ashes. But the Brahmana took some water from his kamandalu, chanted some mantras and sprinkled on that ashes. The tree came back to life. And Takshaka was surprised. He asked, what will you get out of this? That Raja will give me a lot of gift, money. Takshaka said, I will give you 3 times more than that, and sent him back. And when Janamejaya heard this news that this is what Takshaka did, he got angry and he called some priest and performed a Sarpayaga, calling the name of the Sarpas and offering them into the fire. And finally, and during that Sarpayaga time, this Vaishambhayana, because this yaga and all that, the rituals can be performed at a certain time. During the day, they have a lot of time. And during that time, this Vaishambhayana Rishi came and taught him Mahabharata stories. He wanted to know his ancestor's story. Janamejaya is the son of Parikshit. Parikshit was the son of, what is his name? Arjuna's son. Arjuna was dear to Bhagavan. So therefore,
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu's father was Arjuna, and Arjuna was a great friend and devotee of Bhagavan Krishna. So naturally, he wanted to know the story of his ancestors who were devoted to the Lord. And therefore, Mahabharata story was narrated to him. And this Janamejaya was listening to Vaishambhayana. That is why Vaishambhayana comes here. Vaishambhayana Vacha. Shrutva dharman asheshena pavanani cha sarvashaha. So, all dharma shastras he heard. Shankaracharya says, Vaishambhayana Vacha. Vaishambhayano Janamejayam pratyuvacha srutveti dharman apyudaya nishreyasa hetu bhutan. So dharma means what? That which gives you apyudaya nishreyasa hetu bhutan. That which gives you prosperity and finally take you to moksha. That is called dharma. Dharma is that particular principle you follow. It will give you prosperity in this life and it will finally take you to the ultimate goal of perfection. That dharma. Asheshena pavanani papakshegarani. Pavana asheshena means completely. So whatever that is Dharma Shastra, different Dharma Shastras are there. For Raja there is a Dharma Shastra. For a Sannyasi there is a Dharma Shastra. So Sannyasa Dharma, Brahmacharya Dharma, Grihastha Dharma, Vanapastha Dharma, Sannyasa Dharma, all these things are there. In 7th canto of Bhagavatam, in 11th chapter onwards, the 5 chapters, there is a discussion about Manushya Dharma, Manava Dharma. The Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanapastha, Sannyasa dharmas are very elaborately given. And in Uddhava Gita also it is repeated. So there it is given. So all dharmas, asheshena, pavanani, these dharmas are pavana, papakshekarani, dharma rahasyani cha, sarvasha sarva prakarihi, and the secret of dharma. So dharma word is very, important word, because the Bhagavad Gita is, the whole Bhagavad Gita is explanation to dharma only. Because Bhagavan, the Bhagavad Gita starts with the word dharma. Dharma kshetre, guru kshetre, samaveta yutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kima kurvata sanjaya. Dharma is the word starting and ending also mama. Yatra yogeshwara krishnaha yatra partho dhanuddharaha tatra shri vijayo bhutir dhruva nitir matir mama. Mama Shabda is the last one. The first one is Dharma. So therefore put together is what? Mama Dharma. My Dharma is the whole topic of Bhagavad Gita. So there it is very beautiful. The one who follow Dharma means Dhridharayati, that which holds, upholds, integrates families, integrate human being, integrate nation, society. What is that integrate? The community, society, human being is nothing but love for each other. That is the ultimate dharma. So that dharma, pavanani, it purifies. It gives you an atmosphere where you feel comfortable. If there is love for each other, all mistakes are forgiven. Otherwise, each one point finger at each other. Pavanani sarvasha yudhishthiraha shantanavam punarevapya bhashata. Yudhishthiraha, see, Yudhishthira, the word is very beautiful. Yuthi means yuddhe, yuddham, war. Sthiraha. Yuthi sthiraha. Sthira means firm. So the one who is firm when it comes to battle of dharma, not battle of the other war. So Yudhishthira was not a great soldier or great warrior. But when it comes to Dharma Yuddha, he was always steadfast, he was firm. He being the son of Dharmaraj, naturally he was very firm. So Yudhishthiraha, Shantanavam, Shantanu's son, that is Bhishma Pitamaha. Punaha bhashataha, punarevapya bhashataha. Nandanavam Shantanuputram Bhishmam Sakala Purushartha Sadhanam Sukha Sambhatyam Alpa Prayasa Analpa Phalam Anuktam Iti. Bhishmam. Bhishma means the one who is the control or the eliminator of all inner and outside papas or enemies. Because the Yudhishthira thought that he had not been taught the means of attaining all the desired ends of man. So he felt that I heard everything, but it is meant for certain specific persons, specific community, or specific status in the society. But I have not learned something that is applicable to all people. And that also easy. Sakala Purushartha Sadhanam Sukha Sambhadyam Alpa Prayasam. So Shankaracharya writes very beautifully. Sukha Sambhadyam. Say this, that which is easily practicable. It is not difficult to practice. So our Yudhishthira felt that I have not heard from Bhishma Pitamaha that which can be practiced by all, that also easily practicable. Then Alpa Prayasam And alpa prayasam and sukha sambad, easily practicable. Alpa prayasam, minimum effort. Alpa prayasam. It is not so much effort is to be put and all that. Nothing. Minimum effort. Alpa prayasam. And analpa phalam anuktamidi. Analpa phalam means not a small result. Analpa phalam means the result should be infinite. The result cannot be finite. So these are people are like that. We don't want to make too much effort, but we want the result also big. That is what, that kind of a thing. Alpamidi, analpam anuktamidi krutva punaha bhuyaha eva abhyavashada prashnam krutavan. Again, this Yudhishthira requested Bhishma Pitamaha to teach him what is that people can practice easily, effortlessly, and attain the infinite result also. Now, this Yudhishthira is asking 6 questions. There are 6 questions Yudhishthira asks, and our Bhishma Pitamaha answers one by one. And finally, one of the question he answers giving 1,000 names of Bhagavan. We'll stop here. It's already 9 past 9. We will continue the question next class. Next class now we have the 12th is Madhuvanam fundraiser and 19th is Vrindavan fundraiser. So two Saturdays we will not be able to meet. Then 26th, that is after Christmas. It's a long gap. Anyway, that's what happened.
Projects aren't hard. It's just like you started putting it as a social.
Okay, we'll stop here today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.
Swamiji, Hari Om Swamiji, thank you very much. Sorry for the inconvenience for connecting. Its alternative is Zoom. We will set up Zoom from next class onwards, Swamiji, and communicate to the rest of the group.
I am comfortable with Zoom.
Okay, Swamiji, next class we will schedule Zoom only. So maybe we'll be meeting next class after December, New Year, Swamiji.
26th is not possible, right? Yeah, New Year is better.
If you are available, 26 we can do. We'll see.
I am available.
Okay.
Then
Dvitiya Vignam, we don't want to have Dvitiya Vignam, Swamiji. In this year, at least 2020, we can have one more class. Then we can do it. Okay.
Karnaji, when you share the Zoom link, just write all the dates and share so that people can download it to the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that. I have created a group, so I'll post in the group.
Thank you.